Hi, this is Angela McFarlane and you're stamping with AMAC. For this card, for the masking technique, I used Fresh Freesia and Soft Succulent, which are the new in colours. The stamp set I used was Tasteful Touches, but you could substitute with any big floral set that you may have that's got some foliage. And for the greeting, I used Enjoy the Moment. I used the happy birthday out of that, but you can substitute with whatever fits onto the label. For the greeting label, I used the Stitch So Sweetly dies, and I used the smallest scallop die that is in that set, the scalloped rectangle. Okay, for the card, it's basically layered on the Fresh Freesia base, and the first mat is in Soft Succulent, and then we've got the white layer. So for the stamping, what I did is I stamped the image onto the Masking Magic, and then I fussy cut around it, and I cut right on the edge, like right on the outline. You don't want to leave a border around it, you want to cut right on the edge. So what I will do first, you can either do your card in portrait or landscape, it's entirely up to you. So I'll just pop this one to the side. So I stamped the first image, sort of on a little bit of an angle, and I pick your position, stamp it on the card. I always press down and hold for a few seconds just to let the ink soak up, so the cardstock soaks up the ink. And then after you have cut this out, you will position it exactly on your stamped image. So if it's not right, just wiggle it around a little bit until you get it in position. So that way now when I stamp the second image, it won't stamp over this initial one. So I'll ink up my stamp again, and I'll just put this one on a little bit of an angle and overlap. So it's actually stamped over the top of it a little bit. I probably could have overlapped it a little bit more there. But now, while I've still got this mask in place, I will stamp my foliage, because if I take that off and stamp it, I'll get the stem all over it. Now I don't want that. So to keep it nice and clean, I'll get my Soft Succulent and I'll ink that up. And I will stamp it there. And then another thing that you can do, if you want to keep your mask clean, you can only sort of ink up a portion of it, but that's okay. So now I'll peel the mask off gently, and you can see it hasn't overlapped anywhere on my first flower. Then I will move my mask, and as I said before, the beauty of this masking paper is that it re-sticks, and it's fantastic. So I'll just re-ink this up again. I'll line it up to where I want it to go, and I will do a third one there. So when you're happy with where you've got everything stamped, then you can peel this up and reveal the magic. So like I said, I always just pop these onto the inside cover of my stamp set. That way when I want to use it again, it's ready to go. So for the greeting, it's up to you whether you want to put it down the bottom or up the top. It's wherever you want it to go. The first one I put up the top, but you will also want to sponge around the edges because of the white on white. You can leave it white on white, or you can sponge the edges just a little bit, just to break it up a little bit. I did consider putting a mat around it, but I thought it was just too big on the card, so I decided to leave it without the mat. That way I just sponge the edges a little bit, and it introduces a little bit of colour without being too big. Okay, and then you just assemble it all together. You stick that layer down first, this one down second, and then attach your greeting wherever you want it to go, whether you want it up the top or down the bottom. I think I'll stick this one down the bottom. I could even stick it in the middle there. Actually, that's where I think I'm going to put it. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed that card. Thank you for watching. Happy stamping, and stay tuned for more.